Strong start. That was a lot of setup. I'm just, it's fine. Yeah. Okay, says I'm live. Multi-stream? Chat? Read only? Yeah. Da 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 da. What am I doing with myself? I guess I'm getting set up. I'm gonna do things. Do that. Ba-da-bum. Okay. So let's see. Right, I want to check and see that it's actually happening. Looks like it is. Oh, that's not a bad. That latency is not terrible. One time recurring. Oh, I see. There's stuff going on here. I'm not worried about it. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. Let's see. And oh. Okay, well. That's fine. No, I'm not gonna do that. Did Twitter happen? Did it post? Try to post. Did it post? I did. Okay, so which means I am in a good position to tweet, retweet. Oh yeah, retweet it from my account, which I could probably set that up easily through a if this then that automation. Blah. Figuring it out. Oh, hello, there are 3 people here. Hello, 3 people. Welcome to today. Wherever we happen to be. Oh, here's the real question. Am I streaming on YouTube? Because I might be. But I never really no. Save video set 1, calibration video set 2. Yes, you can do it. It is a little convoluted. Oh, I am streaming. That's cool. One second. Matiyar Jafari. Oh no, actually, you commented this from YouTube. That's perfect. I was coming to check. Like, this is a comment from YouTube. Also, yeah, cool. Did it show up here? I don't think it did. I didn't check. Test. No, I didn't check. 1 second. Oh no, it's because it's invisible. Another test. Okay, it is there, but it's tiny. I switched over my like streaming who's it, and so okay, I don't care. It's not perfect, and that's fine. Yeah, it's. I guess the question. I guess. Another test. Test. Okay, that's big enough. What goes from there? Yeah, I'm trying to see if it's going to be visible in the actual stream. It may or may not be. Close enough. I was hoping to get on. My plan was to get on at 2, and then I just like fiddle fucked around for apparently an hour and change. Those are the blips that has made it go. So there's announcements coming to the Discords. And yeah, Matiyar Jafari has asked a wonderful question, which is a common question. So the answer is that you absolutely can. If you're using the pre-alpha code, which you certainly are, the one that you get from pip install free mocap, It is we like added that the way to do that, and it's just a little it's a little convoluted. But it's not that convoluted. It's just under the hood it's unclean. But it was kind of like a stopgap thing because it was so many people wanted it. And it is a part of the new code to do those things separately. But I'll stop talking and just show you the answer. GitHub. Basically, what you got to do is so there's a parameter that you can import, you can add, that you can, what's the word? Input to the README. Not skip to step 2. Close. Basically, there's this, we added this parameter called use saved calibration, which will, if I recall correctly, it will just use like the most recent successful calibration that you have that you've completed in the new in the session that you are inputting there. So the workflow would be to record a session that's just like a regular old, free mocap. Record a session where you just do the calibration part, like show it the Truco board. Run that through step 3, and then after step 3 you can cut it and then run a new session. And when you do the freemocap.runme, input use saved calibration equals true, and it will use the previous session's calibration for that one. Again, it's not like the workflow is not like ideal, but it does do the job, I think. And will allow you to do like the normal mocap workflow, which is calibrate the space and then record videos. Hello, Xpeng. Oh, hello, Thorn David. Hello, Xpeng. I don't recognize your username. So if you're new here, welcome. Matiar, does that make sense? What I said? Is that helpful? Cool. Yeah. And also, just to be clear, like today we will be discussing. You're probably wondering why I gathered you here today. The plan is to discuss. Yeah, I'm gonna just like give people instructions on how to like run the new GUI. So we will see. Yeah, I probably would still at this point recommend using. Well, it's sort of there's a crossover point that's happening. Like right now, if someone's like, "Hey, I really want to get a good recording," it's like, okay, use the stable pre-alpha. Oh, who's that? Mark Vargale. Hello. Waves hello. Yeah. I'm still recommending that people use the pre-alpha because it's more stable and it does work. So the one you get from pip. The GUI is approaching functionality to the point where I would say use that instead, but I wouldn't, it's do the easy thing, do what works. The data that you get will be roughly equivalent. The skills you will learn will be fungible. It's like cameras and all that and calibration. And there will be a method to sort of import old stuff into the new way. You'll be able to import stuff recorded in the pre-alpha into the new alpha. It'll be the same kind of data. It'll just be like it's like some of the names are a little bit different, things like that. Oh, hello, Moadev. I remember you. Now you are Mark of Argyle. Oh, which the letters involved being MOA. I figured it out. I've cracked your code. Yeah, the external videos thing is a challenge. The dropped frames. So if you're recording from non-USB cameras, you have to synchronize them on your own, and they have to be what I have been calling frame perfect, meaning every single video has to have precisely the same number of frames. And those frames need to be synchronized with each other. So frame 126 of camera 1 is the same period of time as frame 126 of all the other cameras. So you can do that kind of synchronization in like like your Adobe Premieres or whatever your favorite uh, video editing software is. But yeah, if they're off by even like 1 frame, yeah, okay. So okay, cool. So you should be you should be somewhere. I don't know. There will also be a method for the GUI to like a button that's like import external videos, so you can just kind of like you just have you get your videos, synchronize them however you want, and then just like click the button and it'll pull them in and start doing stuff. Uh, yeah. Did I get water? I did. Oh, I'm so smart. Hmm. Let's see. Oh, this is yeah. Ba ba da ba. Cool. Cool. Okay. Look at me. I'm doing it. I'm really doing it. Da 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 da. Oh, hello, Krf. How are you? I switched back to Streamlabs from OBS because it's just OBS. I'm just having a hard time getting it set up. So, and Streamlabs has such nice just defaults, which is why there are now notifications again for hey, like subscriptions and or not subscribe. Oh, subscribe. That's a new. That's the one that's more than follows. Thank you. Who did that? Wales. Wesley Sales 3D. Thank you. You can tell that it's the level above because I didn't set up a custom thing for it, so it just uses the default zombie. Um, yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's more just like I've been telling myself every day. It's like I gotta do a stream today, and then it's now Friday afternoon. It's like, well, if I don't do it today, then I didn't do one this week. Uh, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Suck as much money out of the corporations as you can, I guess. 12 cranial. I don't know what 12 cranial nerves, man. I don't know nothing. Uh, it's there's probably a lot of them in there. There's ocular motor. Those I know that one. Uh, thanks, Wesley. Appreciate it. It has been a lot of work. That's been one of my. I came across like it's always like kind of like hard to accept a like a compliment, so it's like people are like, wow, thanks, wow, dude, like that's great, um and like when I was in grad school I just discovered the response of yeah, thanks, it was really hard. Because it's kind of like you're right. It was a lot of work. um but yeah. Code GPU support. Yes, it is. So oh my God, that's so yes, we need CPU support. So right now there's been like a focus on uh yeah, the rule has been just like get everything working, um you know without, and just like don't worry. The rule is don't optimize things that exist before you create things that don't exist. So it's been so the current like environment that gets set up when you do the standard install of free mocap does not use CUDA. That is for two reasons. One is so that everything will remain um, like hardware independent. People who don't have NVIDIA cards can use it and yada yada. Also because I don't know how to set up an environment to use CUDA. I think I could probably bumble my way through it on my computer, but I don't know how to like set up instructions that will work for other people's computers. Oh, what am I doing here? Oh, there we go. I'm a little. Oh, and I should be. Um, so at the moment, the who's it? No, I want the monitor to be on top. Um, so like if you watch when it's running, like before it gets to stage 4 and starts doing media pipe stuff, you'll see it say like something something worker setup with a CPU or something. Um, uh, and I think if it can see a CUDA, it will say one GPU worker found or something, and then just like and then start using that. Um, but I don't know. Studio Gold. Oh, maybe it's Discord. It would be cool to check that out. To be honest, it's not a matter. It's more of a matter of available brain space than it is a matter of like technical capacity. um, so what I would say actually, what the best thing that anyone who feels savvy enough to explore this, the best way you could help would be to just try to install like in whatever the environment is that you're running free mocap, see if you can get your CUDA set up, and then see if when it gets to the part that says like CPU using something, it says something about using CPU right before stage 4 hits, and it's like setting up the media pipe running. And if you can get it to say like using GPU, uh, then let us know what you did to get that working. It's the kind of, I have a suspicion that like someone that knows what they're doing could do that relatively quickly, but I don't. It's just like, it's like put it on the list. Uh, mhm. I think that media pipe will just use what's available. So like if you don't have CUDA installed or you don't have a CUDA GPU, it just puts it on CPU. And because media pipe is designed to be fast, and like it's designed to run on like cell phones and stuff, the CPU version is not terrible. It does mean that we're getting like a lower quality track than we would from like an like a GPU enabled like open pose like cranked up souped up kind of track. Um, but you know it's MediaPipe is so much easier to use and so much easier to work with. It has a permissive license, OpenPose does not, and it makes the project like hardware agnostic, so you don't need to have a specific kind of GPU to run it. So that's just why we've been focused on MediaPipe. Also, MediaPipe is like nice, clean, easy to use code, and then we're just kind of like, it's structured. The project as a whole is structured to be agnostic about the tracking software. So like in the fullness of time, we can just basically slot. You're like, okay, as long as you have a tracking algorithm that pulls in, uh, what's it called, videos and spits out pixel coordinates, it's all good uh, as far as calibration goes. Forever Lee K. Are you Kyle? Is Forever Lee Kyle? Forever Lee K Kyle? Is that right? Did I get that right? Cuz, you said cuz. Yes. Hello, cuz. I also like seeing what you type at me. So there you go. Welcome here. Um, Bum bum bum. Okay. Today, um, oh, hello, printer team. Hi, printer team 5130. I hope printers, I hope your printers are, I don't know. Printers are always interesting. People always complain, why don't printers work? And it's because they are a mechanical interface. They are an interface between the world of digital things and the world of physical objects. So it's gonna be fucky. Things get fucky at the interfaces between worlds. We all know that. That's also why like the hardest part of this entire project is working with the camera, like interacting with the camera and connecting to a lot of blah blah blah. And it's because again, it's an interface. It's a place where environmental energy, known as photons, becomes like computer data life, data energy. And again, it's an interface, and it's complicated. Uh, yeah, Xpeng. Yeah, I mean it's kind of yeah. The focus for the oh, I need to put the chat box on top of things because you're not visible. Um, yeah, the focus now is like wide adoption. Everyone can use it. Uh, get it in as many hands as possible. I didn't mean that to be. Um, and and then we can specialize from there. It's like uh, no need to yeah make it generic. You can make it specific. If you make it specific, you can't necessarily make it generic. Ba ba dum bum ba ba dum. Okay. Blah. All right, I'm pretty happy with this setup so far. Okay, I'm gonna do So I want to do a like a quick like update on like the state of things, state of the Skelly, as I'm calling it, because it makes me laugh. It doesn't make me laugh. It makes me happy. Um, and then I'm gonna update the README to have instructions on how to run the GUI. It won't be that much work, but it just does need to be done. Uh, and then if there's time, I'm gonna do a quick like recording session. Just do a recording session and just like complain to myself about all the things that I wish were different, which will be kind of like a rough like to-do list, and also kind of nice little walk through the current state of things. Um, and and then maybe be done because I'm tired today. I'm not that tired. I'm actually feeling fine, but it is the end of the week, and I do want to get out of here sooner rather than later. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see, I want to do the thing. How do I do this? What's the right way to do this? I'm going to do, I guess I'll do this. Because I want to be able to like tag this and pull it out later so I can like post just this video. So that way, if you want to get an update on the project, you don't have to watch the entire stream and sort of guess when I'm going to be giving updates about things. And which means I should be relatively quick. Let's see if I can get this under 10 minutes. I don't have that much to say. 5 minutes, maybe. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Oh, right. What was I going to do? I was going to... yeah, okay. In stream notes. By the way, you can come check out this thing I'm doing if you are into that. Here is the link to the HackMD document if you don't like looking at it on we're looking at it on a different stream. That's an option. Hopefully I don't think you can, yeah, you can read it, you can't write on it. That's which is what I want. And I'm going to switch to big head mode. Hello, look, I've switched. I have scenes now. This is small mode and this is big mode because there's nothing on the screen except for this thing. I guess I should probably make this bigger too. There you go. And in the interest of not being confusing, I guess I can cover that too. There we go. I guess it's still confusing. It's fine. Okay. If anyone has a problem with it, they can do it themselves better. More power to everybody. Okay. All right. That's like, again, like the headspace of like non-real-time recording is a different headspace. It's a performance headspace. This is stream of consciousness headspace. I'm just doing whatever as it comes up. The difference thing that the trying to make a thing that's going to be like recorded and then watched out of context is a different headspace. It's like a ta-da. So I gotta get on that. I will put a tag. Yeah, sure. Here, state. Let's do that. State of the Skelly. And then, yeah, okay. All right. Hello. I guess I need to be looking this way. That probably makes sense. I should probably looking this way. Let me switch my camera because this is annoying. I don't like looking that way. I want to look that way. Video capture device. Not that camera. This camera. Unsurprisingly, I have a lot of cameras in my life. Okay. Except I'm not. Alt. There we go. I'm too bright, but that's okay. Okay, let's do that again. State of the Skelly, take 2. Two. Okay. All right, so here is a quick update on the current state of the FreeMoCap project. Basically, we are rapidly approaching the sort of 0.1.0 release, which will be the sort of official start of the alpha phase. The GUI, it's mostly going to be structured around like an entirely different code base, like it's been refactored from scratch with help from a professional software developer, Endurance Adehan, who is on the server. He's various places. He's been helping me like rewrite the code in a format that is sort of like built to scale. Like it's set up to be like a, you know, semi-professional standards, or at least semi-professional architecture, as opposed to like the, you know, the best spaghetti code that I could make, which is where how the pre-alpha code works. So it'll be nice because it'll be sort of like much more able to handle external contributions. It'll have a fully GUI based controller, where it'll be a lot more configurable and whatnot. Yeah, so I'm kind of like, I'm waiting for like the new GUI version to have like the right level of functionality and stability that it can kind of be like a replacement for the pre-alpha. Right now, there's still a little bit of like, basically, if you want to have like I still point people towards the pre-alpha because it's like a little more stable and sort of like more guaranteed, and has like more documentation around it and yada yada. So waiting for that kind of crossover point where like the new version is the one that I would recommend to other people before I push the actual 0.1 release. But I am going to be updating the README on stream today to have instructions on how to run the GUI from the source code on the GitHub repo. So whoever was watching this, may run it and see how you feel about it. So is that another announcement? There's a buggo in the current 0.0.54. If you install it from scratch and then run it for the first time, it will fail when it tries to run the media pipe part, because it will the media pipe people change their folder structure. So the model has been moved in their GitHub repo. If you try to run an older version of MediaPipe, it tries to download that model from the wrong location. So the solution is pretty straightforward. Just in an environment that has your FreeMoCap environment enabled, just type pip install FreeMoCap type pip install MediaPipe -- upgrade, and it will upgrade MediaPipe to version, I think 0.8.11, which should work just fine. The other sort of relevant factor is I am really hoping to get together an NSF POSE grant. POSE stands for Pathways to Open Source Ecosystems. It's kind of like a POSE has nothing to do with like pose estimation, which is just kind of like a funny coincidence. But it's an NSF grant designed to help create open source ecosystems around open source products. So basically, it's exactly where we are. So it's like we have like a functional piece of software that is good, and people, I mean, it's okay, it does the job, that is sort of starting to attract users and people of there's a little community forming around it, FreeMoCap people, and it's wonderful. And this grant is literally designed for projects in that state to help build like a more stable and robust ecosystem. So I'm going to be trying to do that. It's due in less than a month, which is it's not enough time, but it's like it might be enough time. Like I've written grants with less time, but it's never pleasant. But it's yeah, well, I'm hoping to do that kind of like as much in the open as I can. There is kind of like an energy cost to doing things in public, but I also, no promises on that. But it is, it's a grant to support the community of free mocap users. So I feel like I should probably involve like let people in the community know that it's happening and give them some at least involvement with the process, just to see how we can do with that. Um, there might be ways like I'm probably going to want to start doing like some probably by way of Trent, like user surveys and things like that, where people can just to give some like demographics of like who's using this, who wants to use it, like the different sub communities of people, like there's the animation people, and there's like the animation artist side, and then there's like the scientist researcher side, and then there's like clinical athlete. So trying to like get a sense of who's out there and what their needs are as a part of this, and like so keep your eyes out on that. Probably on the Twitters where we're talking about that. Also, I read this really wonderful book called Working in Public: The Making and Maintenance of Open Source Software by Nadia Eghbal. I actually listened to the audiobook, which was good, and then I bought the actual physical copy because it's like an anthropology study of like open source projects, and it really kind of nails a lot of things in terms of like it like she interviewed like hundreds of or reviewed hundreds of open source projects, and kind of like got a really good sense of like different types of projects, what makes things hard, what makes things succeed, what makes things fail. I plan to use it to kind of like the frameworks of this book lays out as like going to be part of the grant that I'm writing. And so, and at some point I kind of want to do like a reading group type of thing about this, just to like invite other open source people to like talk about what's going on in here, because that'd be cool. But I'm not going to do that now because I have I'm like too much going on. I gotta write this whole grant. I'm teaching a new class, and I'm like doing all this stuff. So that's about that. Yeah, okay, so that's the state of the Skelly for this year of our Lord 2022 09 23. And thank you for watching, either in the stream right now, on the stream later, or in the section of the stream that I have chopped out and placed as its own independent video to give this particular update, whatever happens. Or I might not even do that last part because I'll be too because I just won't get to it, in which case I don't apologize, because that's life. Ba ba dum ba. Okay, thank you and goodbye. But like more friendly than the tone I just used. Bye. Okay. And state of not goodbye to the people on the stream. Goodbye to the people in the video that I might clip out of this later. I'm still going to talk here. And what did I? Oh, and let me switch over my scene. Let's see. Shadow TJNL. Hello. Oh, cool. You got new cameras. I think that is accurate. I think that's what we want to do. We shoot skeletons into the air. And I gotta switch my camera over. Oh, I guess I could do that automatically, but I don't. We set things up as they're useful. Hello. Okay. Canon Skelly. Okay. Yes. Oh, hello. Hello, Mycon. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. I have been good. I have been, busy, living life, but things are going well. Projects are moving forward, and you love to see it. Man. Bleh. Okay, so I am already I'm sapping a little bit on energy, which is a little surprising. Not surprising, sort of to be expected. But there are things I want to get involved. Oh, iPhones. uh, yes, I will consider Viking mode. Some winter is coming, so we'll see. Uh, if you're using iPhones, there's the OpenCap is a project that come out of Stanford that uses only iPhones, which is kind of weird to me. But I know that some people have talked about, like some people on the server have used iPads. I know it's like cold outside. There are some people on the server who's used iPhones successfully, but I don't know much about that. But OpenCap is designed for iPhones, and it's probably pretty good. I don't know. It's like a weird. It's like you only can use iOS. You have to use iPhones to record the videos, and you have to like upload the data, and they like send that you upload your videos and they send them back to you, which is like never. And their code isn't open. I don't think their code is open. Uh, it's currently positive 40 degrees. It's in the 40s Fahrenheit. Um, yeah. It's Move AI does that. I'll tell you what. It's the reason why I use the AGPL uh, license. Negative 40, man. That's negative 40 is actually the crossover point where I think that's the temperature where Celsius and Fahrenheit are the same temperature, and then below negative 40 Fahrenheit is colder. The like negative 50 Fahrenheit is colder than negative 50 Celsius how because of how linear trends work. Oh, I appreciate that. You're being internationally conscious. um, Yay! I like that people like the things about this project that are the things that are like the core of this project. You're the second person recently, and not and yeah, I've heard that people are like, oh yeah, I really like the philosophy behind your project. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, me too. That's why I'm doing it. um, old Sharsted uh, on the server just posted something nice saying something similar. Um, which yeah, good to be open source, good, free and open source. Open source isn't powerful enough anymore. Has to be free, like freedom. Okay, what am I doing with my life? Unclear. But let's, at least in the meantime. Okay. Okay, this isn't that bad. I've been like, the thing where you have a task and it's not even a hard task, but like for some reason you just can't even like bring yourself to like think or look about it. And so as a result, you make your entire life harder. Because I've been like in my head, I'm like, oh my god, like in my head, like the current version of the RunMe doesn't have sufficient instructions on how to use the the pre-alpha version, but it's okay. It's not bad. I think this should be more for additional instructions. That should be more strongly highlighted. USB capture. Ooh. Is there a new USB 3.0 capture card? Oh, you're waiting. You said the new cheap real USB card, which is a different statement than a, which implies that you're thinking about a specific thing. Ah, yes, there's a number. I'm going to search for that number. I hope it's not pornography. What? That's a schooner ship. You've tricked me. uh, USB. There we go. um, that's cool. I'll look this up later because I do think that like getting more sophisticated about there's parts there's parts of this project, otherwise known as the entire project, where there's like sort of like a surface level understanding of of a core component that like is like good enough to get it working, but like needs to be improved in the future. And like high on that list is like a deeper understanding of like the interface between like Python's connection to OpenCV video capture, and that OpenCV video captures method for connecting to the USB port is in the like the OpenCV to USB to camera hardware and back again stuff is, I don't understand. I know enough to make it work, but I don't really understand it. And it's one of these things where people are like, what camera should I use? And I'm just like, UVC compliant USB camera. That, yeah, It's like, if in my experience, the ones that cost around $20 work. The ones that cost less than $20 don't work. You may ask yourself why. I don't know. They just don't work. All these cameras, they cost like $8. They don't work. It just like it tries to connect them and the frame rate's like 5 frames per second. Couldn't tell you why. I've tried putting like PCIe USB cards in there also to get like more ports into my computer so I can run more cameras. Also didn't work. I'm not convinced I installed the PCIe cards correctly. uh, so again, once again, we rely on our good old fashioned. It's good to like have phrases that you live your life by. And one of those phrases, once again, is don't optimize things that exist before you create things that don't exist. Because because it's so easy to get stuck optimizing something, and if you want the entire project to move forward, if it works, it works, and you just got to connect all the pieces together. And then once the pieces are connected together, then you can start asking the question of which is the weakest link here, and then work on that link. Yeah, and like yeah, someone was just asking about like running through a USB hub, which is sort of yeah, which would obviously be great for a lot of reasons to have more cameras and yada yada. It's also limited success. I have had success running through like 2 cameras through a USB hub, but the bottleneck is the USB port. Um, and so if you put too many cameras through a single USB port on your computer, it just borks out. It's just for whatever reason. Um, uh, so the best is to just have each camera on its own USB port on your computer, and then if you need extra space, uh, yeah, yeah, if you need it, so the trick is to take your USB hub and move all of your peripherals to the USB hub. So like all like your keyboard and your monitors and your mouse, like you put those to the hub, and then open up the USB ports for your cameras, because all your peripherals, they don't need the bandwidth. Um, so yeah, and I've tried to do the USB PCIe card like expansions, and it's never been as successful as I want it to be, and I don't know if it's because I didn't install them correctly or I didn't install the drivers correctly, um, which is very likely, or if it's some deeper thing than that. Someday, someone with hardware experience will explain how these things work to me, and what a day that will be. Yeah, optimization. This is another nice thing that Endurance said to me. Pre-optimization is the devil. It's true. Who do you think you are that you know the future, you fool? I barely even know what's going on in the present. How can I plan for the future? Well, I mean, you plan. Anyways, okay. Okay. Let us. Hmm. Yeah, I've got a couple of these actually. These are exactly the ones. I need to be careful. I guess I trust you, Mike, on to click your links. Someone else could be. Oh, you were able to use Wi-Fi cameras. Wait, you were able to use Wi-Fi cameras through like the standard pipeline, or like you recorded the video, synchronized them, and then ran it through? Thorn David, I ask. I think I literally have all three of these because I bought them and tried to install them, and like it's like it's just ADHD brain stuff. Like I try to install it, I run into some roadblocks, and then I move on to somewhere else. Um, focus, focus, fucker. Uh, I am. No, wait, not that. Pull from GitHub. I really like HackMD. HackMD is my new favorite thing. It's like a Google Docs sort of like live editing thing, so you can have like a bunch of people editing at the same time. But it's Markdown. It's like because yeah, it's great. What am I trying to pull from? Free camps. Free mocap. Hey. Select a branch. Main, I guess. Wait, is that gonna work? No. I need to make a new branch. John. What's my name? My name is John. Update ReadMe. Branch. What? Am I gonna have to eat my words? Because yeah. John. I don't think it has the ability to. It does have the ability to make a new branch. I've done it before. Oh wait, no, I'm pulling. I have to pull. Right. Okay. So I am pulling from main. And I'm pulling the README from main. Thank you. Pull. Hello. Welcome. Yes. Please do that. April tag. Yeah. Ah. Oh, look at all that. Nice. Okay. Um, cool. There are cool conversations happening in the chat. In the interest of getting things up and running, in the interest of like hitting my sort of like what I'm trying to do this stream, I will just say I enjoy those conversations. They are good conversations. At some point, one of the main things we're working for now, like moving into like the alpha stage, is setting this project up to be better at accepting external help. At the moment, for a lot of reasons, we're not set up to do that. A lot of it's related to like the organization of the project slash my personal organization, as well as just like the state of the code, the state of the repo, yada yada yada. And so I look forward to a time when we are better equipped to accept external help on the things that like are either beyond my capacity or beyond my technical skill or just beyond my like available effort. Uh, that's what this book is always talking about. Kind of like this book. One of the central themes is like the strange tension between um, having like an open like the first of all the central truth that like the majority of open source code is written by like very small numbers of people, but there are large numbers of people who want to contribute, and so then there's this tension that arises between the desire of like the core maintainers, which I guess is me in my lab, the desire of the core maintainers to like accept help and to like what's the word, encourage participation, um which like you want to accept help, you want to encourage participation, you want to reward people for participating and like trying to help, but at the same time there's an energy cost. Like there's a it's like because it's the majority of help is from like newbie folks, and so like it's hard to give good it's hard to yeah, so there's an energy cost of accepting help, and so that's a big part of like the NSF grant. Um, yeah. Ooh, Mycon making moves. Um, yeah, so Xpeng like C sharp, boy, that's what Unity uses. So like if we were set up better, like, you know, we could be working on like Unity stuff. But again, it's like an organizational thing. And it's a community thing because it's about like setting up like letting like making guidelines and like developing kind of a culture of shared help. There's a little bit of that starting to emerge organically in the Discord server, which I just love to see. Um, uh, and so, like a lot of the question of the day and the challenges of like the current state of the Skelly. Um, Here's the Discord server. Boink. Is like figuring out how to continue to facilitate that type of community support, and what a fun challenge for us all to engage in. Okay. Uh, how do I make this thing more visible? Just so people don't scan past it. For additional help, and can I make you bigger? Or here's another option. Ooh, check this out. Oh, ooh, Mycon. Mycon's been around for a long time, and moving to Blender, that's a big move for you. You were what was your one? You had a wasn't Houdini. What was your preferred one before? Visual 3D or something? I can't remember. Visual 3D is a biomechanics thing. 3ds Max, that's the one. Yeah, yeah, I remember you back in the old days. Uh, when I re-switched back to Steam Labs, a lot of the stuff that was still there, like in the scene, popped up. Um, and so including this. So this is, you know, that old thing. If you haven't seen it, it's fun. Um, and it's called OMC Juggle because this was back when I was still called it when I was still thinking of it as open mocap and it's not before I changed to free mocap. It's like every time I see an OMC, I'm like, oh, I was so young. uh, Chinese translation would be good. They actually specifically talk about translation in that book as an interesting thing. Um, Chinese translation would be cool. Focus. We are focus. We are focus. Okay, I'll turn this off. We'll get there. We'll get there. For now, honestly, the best thing you can do to help, hang out, be into it, join the Discord server, talk, and if you get anything, this is the thing you can actually do, which no one fucking does. This is the thing you can actually do. When you get a recording, post it to the Free Mocap Clips channel. For God's sake, it produces a video by default. Just drag and drop. Or like, so many people are like, okay, it's working. And it's like, like share something, please. It's like if it's like it's working means it produced a thing, and then it's like please share it. It's just like cool, I'm working on a project. It's like what's the project? Tell me. uh no shame. I mean, it's exactly what I would do if I was in your position, but it's like now I'm just like I want to know. uh okay. Bum bum bum. Basic usage. Okay, so in okay, so what do I want to do here? I want to make instructions on how to run the GUI. First question, have I already done that somewhere? I might have. How to run the GUI. I did write that. There you go. Look at that. Did it in the past. Pip install requirements.txt. uh, from there, once that's done, assuming that worked, assuming that worked, you can then run the GUI with the by running. We can run the GUI by running uh, 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 running the main file. The main file at. There is no schedule. I stream when I want to. uh, it's one of these things. Like I used to try to do a schedule. I always like think like, oh, I should make a schedule, but the reality is that like I have too much else going on. Like and I can't afford any more hard points in my schedule. So I kind of want I aspire to weekly. I kind of also want to lower the barrier a bit and like maybe start streaming more often, but just like think about it less. But at the moment it is pro renata as I can as as resources allow. um, but yeah, so the best it's like I do it's like posted it's used historically it has been sometime in the afternoon on Thursday or Friday, which is probably going to persist because I'm now teaching Monday, Wednesday, and so I've kind of been like pushing a lot of my like professor life work into like Monday through Wednesday, um, which leaves Thursday, Friday more for like the for the other part of my like my for like more researchy and codey and things like that. So I'm gonna try to do. I'm aiming for weekly, but I am not aspiring for a regular schedule just yet, unless I might. I don't know. No promises. Ever in any context. That's not true, but in some contexts. At source slash GUI slash main dot py. Uh, uh, oh wait, no, I can buy it. File with this command. Uh, by entering this command into the terminal. Or yeah, whatever. Bash bash equals. Oh, add line number. Do I want that? Bash equals. Add auto rep. Oh, look at all that. Ah, is that helpful? It might be. I can't tell. Oh, I should break that up and explain it a bit, but I'll do that later. And auto rep. Don't auto rep. How do I make? Can I do that? Huh? Whoa. What does that do? Hmm. Hmm. I don't know what that does. Don't do that. Da 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 da. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's if you sign up for the if you join the Discord server, it automatically adds you to like this Twitch pings role, which so you get like a ping whenever I go on. It feels I'm on the fence about that because it feels a little spammy to people who don't care. But I don't also it's like follow your heart. But I also know that some people do make it here because of those pings, so it's kind of like it's fine. People can follow their heart. That's also it sets up to like ping on Twitter, but so also they the streams show up after the fact on YouTube, so you can just watch them there or on Twitch. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of good. Just do things and they improve. If you do things a lot, they get better. So the key is to do things a lot. Discord comes and goes in waves. There's been a lot like activity's been picking up. Um, yeah, yeah. Okay, it's activity's been picking up on the server, which is awesome. But like it's funny because like some days it's just like everyone's like blah 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 blah, and sometimes it's just like crickets, and it's that's like that's social dynamics, I guess. I don't know. Um, Da 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 da. Bash. What am I doing here? Oh, bash. Python. CD there. Python. That. And I think that will work. Bash equals at line number. What does auto wrap mean? It means like word wrap? I don't know. Plus, that's not the right letter. Okay. I think that's good because you otherwise you get. Oh right, and I was gonna break this up. I guess it doesn't make sense. Okay, that's what I was gonna do. So open Anaconda enable terminal. This is I'm gonna update the GUI, but it's or the README, but it's gonna be ugly as fuck, and I'm not gonna worry about that. Prerequisites. Yeah, it's. I feel you, Shadow. It's like, I guess it's like I like follow a lot of Discord servers, and then they ping me once, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And so I don't want to be that guy, but I am that guy. But like, I'm sure a lot of people join and then mute it immediately because of those pings. But like, once again, we iterate. Prerequisites. Install Anaconda. Note. I personally I run the GUI through PyCharm, but these instructions, but it's easier to write instructions. Easier to write instructions on how to run it from an Anaconda prompt. Prerequisites: install the GUI, install Git. Da 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 da. Just use the defaults. 3. I didn't say 3. Bum bum bum. Install Anaconda. With Anaconda for nope. Great. Sort of. Open an Anaconda. Yes. Yeah, Studio Gulp. That's accurate. I like that. That's a good way to think about it. The bigger problem with the Twitch pings method is it devalues the ping, because like when I want to make like announcements to it's like I feel like it should be a powerful thing. Like it's like I'm making an announcement, like red dot. Oh my god. And if I feel like using the Twitch pings thing devalues that. What I really should do is it should be more opt-in instead of currently it's opt-out, and I should make it more opt-in. And I think I can do that by setting up the welcome screen differently, but later. Enter and open a okay. Is that right? Install Git. Oh, that's weird. Why are you? That's weird. Ah, what? Don't do that. Oh, I see. It's you have to like it's like you can configure this is really interesting. Like it's different on this side than that side. I'm just gonna do this manually. You can configure Discord to do a lot of stuff, especially if you're willing to use bots, and like other kinds of stuff. So like currently there's like the select your roles channel, which is powered through with Meeseeks, which is a bot but you can actually do it. There's a lot of other ways you can do it. I actually don't need to be using meeseeks right now for that, but it's set up so it works. Okay, I'm writing words. Create an environment. Create a Python equals 3.9 environment. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Haha, that's what I'm doing. 5. Activate that environment. This is like, I don't think I actually get anything by making it. 5. 6. Clone the repository, i.e. download the code. From GitHub. Haha. See, these are all, I try to like explain. This is like the kind of thing that like when I was first getting started with Python like 3 years ago, it's like people would write things like clone the repo, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means. It's like clone the repo means you're downloading the code. It's like, oh, thank you. You should have just said that. But now that I understand it, I absolutely understand why people don't like explain things, because it's hard. But I try to just like explain it. It'll show up wherever your terminal, show up in the current working directory of your terminal, of your terminal session. Is that right? No, it's close enough. You'll figure it out, or you won't, and I will make it better in the future, and then you'll figure it out. Boobadoo, change, enter into, I guess, change, yeah, I guess the word, change your terminal, navigate into the newly downloaded, newly cloned, downloaded, free mocap folder with dot 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 ba ba dot 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 ba 8. Install the dependencies listed in the requirements.txt file dot ba 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 pa. Okay. Run the GUI. Just a simple 9-step process. This was also my like, what's the word? That was like my personal hell when I was first getting into like trying to like run code from GitHub and source code. Was like you'd get these like 17-step processes. It's like do this, 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 and then you get to step like 6, and then it would either be something like that I didn't understand or that wouldn't work. And so then I'd go like, how do I fix this process? And then I Google it, and it's like, here's another 15-step process to fix that thing. And I up it up, and then I hit step 12, and then something else would break or I wouldn't understand it. And so then I find myself like several layers deep into doing like half of what I've been told to do by like Stack Exchange or whatever. And then I just like, I get, it's like this weird fail state. And now with my current understanding, I could fix the problems that arise. But at the time, when I was first getting started, I would just reinstall my OS because like I didn't understand like I didn't understand like where Python environments were installed, or like what was happening when you made an environment or installed dependencies. So I would just be like, okay, wipe the thing clean, reinstall the OS, and start from scratch. And that was just my workflow. And yeah, and that's yeah. Uh, yeah. Mprib, I know you do. I know you do because you're in a similar position where you're like an academic and you like know all the math and you probably know a little bit of MATLAB, which is like you download it, but then you're like, oh, this is a fun GitHub repo. I should learn enough Python to make this work. And then you're like, how? There should be friendly, helpful instructions, and there fucking aren't. There's like there's some people try to make helpful instructions, but they always skip step 0. And it's like, here's how you explain this to somebody who already knows how to do it. It's like, great, thank you. uh, YouTube tutorials are in fact the best. There is in fact a Diataxis framework. There's a whole like philosophy of documentation which I am excited to implement with FreeMoCap. We technically have a read the docs right now, but there's nothing in it. Don't look at that. It's not going to help you. But when it when it is, boy, oh, I even linked to it here. This is mostly me just like what's the word? Like getting read the docs and like auto deploying from a who's it whatever working. But there's this idea that like documentation and knowledge base has like sort of 4 main types. Um, where there's like, so what I'm doing now, so there's like tutorials, which are like, hey, I'm a new person. I'm gonna like, new people come in and it's like onboarding. It's like I'm gonna hold your hand and walk you through it. Um, how-to guides are more like, this is a how-to guide. Do these steps in order, and the thing will happen. Um, explanation is so actually mprib, uh, uh, like the thing you like the thing you wrote up in the server on OpenCV, which is awesome and I love it, um, is bordering on an explanation. It's more of a diary, really, because like you kind of, it's like more of like you're working, like you're describing your work, which is great. We love that. But it's close to sort of like, here's an explanation of how triangulation works, like sort of like for someone that wants to understand how it works, which is a different thing. And I might someday like uh uh yeah, ask you to sort of like something blah blah blah. And then reference is more like an API, like here's all the functions and sort of like stuff. So like information oriented. This is a really cool way to think about documentation and like building knowledge bases that I think is really helpful. Right now, FreeMoCap has it has how-to guides and it has some reference. It needs tutorials, which I have been avoiding for a long time because tutorials are hard to make and they're hard to make well. And I didn't want to make a tutorial while the code was still in flux. And that's what I've been telling myself for like like 6 months now. If I had just done it 6 months ago, people would have been so much happier. But uh, once the GUI is stable, and I am now in the like when v.1 whatever comes out, I this is an actual promise. I will make a tutorial on how to install it and use it and run it. Hopefully by that point, the installation process will be go to freemocap.org and click download. But we'll see. We'll see. Actually, I don't know. 10. Hopefully, GUI popped up. There's no there's no docs on usage yet. There are no docs on usage yet. So just click the buttons and hope for the best. Click around and see what you can figure out. uh ain't no setup. Click no read. Yeah. That's the other thing is people don't read instructions. It's like, what's the first thing you do when you get to instructions? You start scrolling. It's like, and one of the things I've learned. This is an actual piece of advice. The most helpful thing I ever realized is that the best way to read instructions in tutorials, and this is going to blow your mind, start at the top and read all the words. Like read the first words and then just keep reading the words without skipping ahead and like it's shockingly people actually explain themselves at the top. And the first thing I would always do is like scroll. You get to the thing, scroll, and it's like do that, scroll, look at what it is, but then go to the top and like read the words with your human eyes. It's very helpful. And it may sound like I'm being facetious. I am dead serious. Okay, those are instructions. They are fine enough. Why do you say installation? Oh, it's because that's what it thinks the name of it is. That's fine. In fact, installation. How to install? Okay, let's see. Okay, let's do that. How to use the pre-alpha code. We're fine. We're in the process of move. Oh, that's doesn't need to be. There we go. Of switching over to a new code base, a new to the alpha phase of this project, which which uses a fully refactored and code written with help from a professional, experienced software architect, which is true. As that process, you know what? Until the new code stabilizes, you may have more luck using the pre-alpha code. The 0.1.0 and on code. Most e.g. v 0.0.54. Sure. Installation. Good enough. Four. Update media pipe. To fix new. No, new. You never write new. Never write the word new anywhere, because the second you do, it becomes obsolete. Bug fix. Update media pipe to version with get away, bot. Be thee gone. How do I ban? Get out of here. I don't want to buy your viewers. Yeah. Get out of here, you bots. Ba 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 ba. Where was I? Before Mr. Bots came along. Bug fix. Update media pipe to version with command with, I don't want to explain myself. Pip install media pipe dash 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 upgrade. Bye, Shadow. I hope your snack is delightful. Basic usage. And then put that there. Da da da. Da da da. Yeah. And you see, here's how we do this. Check this out. Point right. Boom. That's how you call attention to something. You'd be like, boom, I'm pointing at you. Do point. Oh, there it is. Left. Nailed it. God. Ah. That's called psychology. Use it every day. Prerequisites. I'm going to call this developer instructions. Some of this is going to get, what's the word? I actually think some of this is I don't want to delete it necessarily, but I also kind of want to delete it. Is there anything, does it need to be there? Oh, I should have, I should have this thing about the cameras. I'm gonna, how do you comment something out in Markdown? Ugh. No, I'm gonna put that there. Okay, I'm just gonna delete stuff because it's Git and it just lives where it needs to live. But first I'm gonna just paste how to run the GUI. Let's see, what are we doing? How to use the pre-alpha code. Do I want to do that top? I do want to do that top. How to run the alpha GUI. Note, no promises here, friends. Yes, we're still working on it. Work in progress. In progress. Lol. And then we laugh. And then we laugh. There we go. Where's the other guy? Here's the other guy. How to run the GUI. There you go. That's instructions. Notes 2. Notes. Da da da. Da da. Oh, prerequisites. Ah, I see. I did that wrong. 3. Optional. Install Blender. HTTPS blender.org. Great. Oh. Come on. Da. prerequisites, instructions, usage instructions. Oh, right. There should be a link to that in the RunMe. Um, uh, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. I will do that. But thank you for reminding me, Swizzle, because that should be more front and center. Then I have to make a decision about which GUI, I'll link to the old one because I think that's the default. Because there's this grid, which is the original one. And then we discovered that we can use this grid, which it has like you get bigger squares for the same printer, so it's sort of like if you're just using like a simple printout, you can calibrate better. Yeah, and it's the size. It needs to be big enough that it can be seen. And then there's a scaler that you add for the size. So you can see here I've written 54 millimeters. And so if you don't do that scaler, your skeleton will just come out the wrong size. So you have to just input the size of one of the black squares in millimeters, and it'll scale everything so that the units that come out are millimeters. If you don't do that, then the units will be some random thing. If you put 1 here, then the units will come out in units of however long this is, in Chiruko square sizes. Normal A-size A4 paper, or 8.5 by 11 if you're for the American types. They're not exactly the same, but they're standard printer paper, can be used. The challenge is just that, like, if you want to record a larger space, it gets harder and harder to track as you get farther away. Which is why this is a better board than this, because this is smaller. This has more squares, but we'll get there. How to run the alpha GUI. Notes, no promises. Yes, prerequisites. What are you? You're a top level. So you can be a that level. That's right. Focus. Installation instructions. I'm using like a different format than I did on the other one, and again, I am trying to get over it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, not hate. Hate is mean. 8, which is a fine number. Okay, now this stuff I might want to I'll add more instructions later. I don't have it in me right now. Let's see I'm just gonna delete stuff here if we need it. It's in the previous versions. I don't think we need that. The cameras, I should have something in there about the cameras, and the Chiruko board and the procedure. Blah, we'll get there. OSX instructions, don't need that. See, so yeah, easy Windows install. This is not easy. I didn't write this. It's like this is the kind of thing that feels easy if you're a professional software developer. But if you are coming in without that, nothing about this is easy. It's easy once you understand it, but so is everything. um, easy usually, I think when experts talk to experts and they say easy, they mean not very many steps, which is very different. Oh, also, apparently you can use command line. I didn't realize that. Getting started, navigate there, run dependencies. That's at usage for developers, dev setup, skip. I'll put that down. Keep that there. Now, deleting stuff is always so exciting. Like, oh my god, it's all gone. I don't know if this stuff works, but we'll see. Creating a new binary. May or may not work. Lol. Lol is my code for I don't know what I'm doing. I think I can't remember if this works. I don't know if it does. I haven't tested it. It might work. If it does, that's fine. I'm gonna add this while I'm feeling cheeky. If that license does not work for you, we are happy to discuss terms to license to does not if the AGPL license is does not work for your needs. Does not work for your needs. We're happy to discuss terms to license this software to you with a different license. With a different with a different license. Different license. I'm repeating the word license 2 times in the same sentence, but I'm also getting over that. At a price point that will increase exponentially as you move from AGPL towards fully closed source software. We call that a business plan. Not really. It's kind of like there's a whole range. AGPL is like the most restrictive, like the most aggressively open source license that's out there. Most aggressively free software. It's not even open source. It's like it's very aggressive. It's like it's the one that like they active like Google open source AGPL. This is the one like Google has a whole page like please don't use this license, we don't like it. And if a mega corporation ever tells you that they're afraid of something, it's probably good. Yeah, fuck you. Not you. Fuck them. We're so friendly. We want to use open source software. But if you use a license that in any way restricts our ability to use your code in an unrestricted way, we're not going to be happy. Go fuck yourself. You stupid fucking hive minds. I mean, I use MediaPipe, which is a Google product, but I don't have to like it. Corporations aren't evil by default, but they're not far off. Actually, you know what? Corporations are hive minds. Hive minds don't have morality. Yeah. Okay. A virtual machine, yeah, virtual machine, Docker stuff. Yeah, the problem with that is that you know, like the Docker stuff is great if you know how to use Docker, which I personally don't, and I also don't. And like trying to explain to somebody who has no I'm the what's the word? Freemocap.org. The whole vibe here is universal design development philosophy. Goal of creating a system that serves the needs of professional research scientists while remaining intuitive to a 13-year-old with no technical training and no outside assistance. Yeah, I would love to do that. But sort of like the idea is that like I don't want to do anything that would be a problem for someone with no experience. So explanations have to start from zero. Importantly, that is a very restrictive approach to software development and is eventually going to cause problems. Oh yeah, that could work. Anyways, we'll think about that. What I was gonna say, basically, once there is a standalone GUI, that you can just click download and it will download, and you could run it like like any other old piece of software. Um, then there will be an inroad for 0xp people to use the software without having to go through like command line stuff. And once that happens, um, then we can start shifting the developer side, like the stuff that's happening, uh, like the instructions in the repo and just the general setup of like the code side, to be better suited to people who have a little bit more experience. So we can start doing more sophisticated things, and Docker boxes and things like that. Because people with zero experience, we just point them and say, no, just go download the GUI and you can run it that way. And people who have more experience can sort of like work their way through the instructions here, which we can kind of assume a higher level of understanding. Still wanting to be sort of accepting of people with less experience, because the goal of the GUI is to sort of like try to get people who use it sort of like more familiar with the code, sort of give them the option of sort of sliding into the dev side of things. Um, but but the project doesn't have to be as constrained by that, by the need to be accessible to literally everybody. Um, because there is a trade-off there. Because by writing the instructions and setting up the README, like in this kind of like baby steps way, it people who have more experience could bonk off of it, and they could be like, oh, this isn't set up in the way I like. Oh, they're still using pip instead of like poetry or whatever. I don't want to use it. So yeah, so that's part of the move that's happening, is by creating the 0xp inroad, it opens up. um yeah, right, yeah, see, yeah, virtual, yeah, I didn't even know about that. um but yeah, so by creating the 0xp entry point by way of a standalone GUI that you can just single click install, it opens up the potential to set up the repo to be more dev friendly, which it currently is kind of dev friendly, but like it lacks some levels of sophistication. Um, okay. I don't think I need that. I think I can just do that. Look at that. Nice. New, yeah. How to run the alpha GUI. Okay. Push. Push. Rato push. Push. Update. Oh, this one needs to be this. I don't even think I can push this one straight to main. Because I think it's got protection. So John slash. What am I calling it? Update README. And then, is there an option? Ah, there it is. Create a new branch. Thank you. Update README. Did this one on the Twitch et al stream. Now that it's going to YouTube, it's not really Twitch. Twitch et al stream. Yay. Push. Bois, bois, bois. I gotta clean this up too. Wait, where are you? Oh, these are closed. Well, where is it? There it is. Active branches. Why are you showing me active branches? I guess it's my. It's fine. Well, why are you showing me the closed stuff? Anyways. Yes. I will consider Shadow's question a side conversation. Although, yeah, okay. We're here, we're here. Okay, how does it look? How to use a pre-alpha code. Installation. How to run the alpha GUI. There we go. Yeah. Totally good enough. What does Kylie say? Sufficiently, totally good enough? I don't know. Something like that, but cleverer. Update ReadMe. Okay, sure. Create the pull request. And skip the protections. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, it doesn't know who I am. That's interesting. It doesn't. It when I sent it from HackMD, but it doesn't know. HackMD doesn't know that I am who I say that I am the same guy. In fact, but yeah, we set up these protections for the main branch. But like like you have to things have to be reviewed, and the kind of you can't commit straight to main. You have to make a branch and then do a pull request, and then the pull request has to be reviewed to be accepted. But like I get to skip that because it's just too otherwise it just takes too long. Virtual machines are interesting. Okay. Oh, you know what I should have done is I should have checked that it actually works. Let's find out if it works as a group. And then if it doesn't, we'll see. Okay, let me follow these instructions as written. Okay, open an Anaconda enable terminal. Done. Do I want to call it free? Yeah, it's fine. I'll call it free mocap GUI. It's fine. Conda create -n free mocap GUI Python equals 3.9. Punch it. Oh right, yeah. Virtual machines are nice for like yeah, not getting all your sloppy stuff all over somebody else's machine. Work machines and that sort of stuff. That makes sense. All right. Conda activate. Right, what did I say to do? Conda activate free mocap GUI. See, this is another thing you have to not do. Is I'm like, I was just going in autopilot, but I have to actually follow the instructions I told other people to do, which in this case was the right thing to do. Free mocap -GUI, and it's working. Hooray! Oh, I can't be there because I already live somewhere. I already have a free mocap guy there, so I have to make a new folder. Let's make how do you make a folder? What's the command? Like the opposite of rmdir? How to make a new directory in terminal in Windows. Technically, this thing should work. Oh, also, this should be cross-platform now. mkdir, makedir, any of that. So I haven't really done much testing on Mac and Linux, but in theory, this should work on both. Rumor has it that the videos lose frame rate. Oh, is that Paul? Oh shit, what's up, Paul? Hey. Oh, I've been looking at the Twitch chat. I have not been looking at the YouTube chat. So sorry, anyone on YouTube who's been chatting at me. I just happened to look up in time to see it pop up on the screen. Make deer. Let's call it test. CD test. Which I always type. Boo. All right, what did I say to do next? Next, I said git clone https github.com/freemocap/freemocap. Poinch. Couldn't resolve host. That's probably because I spelled it wrong. That makes sense. You did your best. I spelled it right there. What is this interesting thought? Yeah. It's such a wild world you can live when you start to understand how like technology works, and it's just like, oh wait, I can control that. It's like you're dabbling with forces you can't understand. It's like, yeah, I know. I'm aware. Like computers don't make sense, but I can type stuff into them. Um, okay. And then I do, okay. Then I say cd free mocap, and then I'm in the right place. And then I say pip install -r requirements.txt. Boom. We're cranking, y'all. I feel good about this. Mildly, unless, well, I'm actually not convinced that it'll run. um, nothing makes any sense. Humans like weird meatware. Yeah, it's like computers. It's just like they do make sense once you understand them, like most things. Yeah, well, yeah. Welcome over here. Welcome over here, Neon X Death. You were. I'm now looking at the screen where you can see. Uh, oh, right. All you don't need all. A lot of these packages are not necessary. Because a lot of them are still like dev, but it's fine. But okay, so let's see. Okay, moment of truth, friendos. Neo Next Death is my brother. He's also the one, like, if you see videos, any of my videos that have music, he is the one that made the music. And the music is always good and adds a lot. Focus. Python. GUI. What did I say to write? Source GUI main.py. Okay. Search Neon X Death on Spotify. For that. Actually, I'll do that right now. Neon X Death on Spotify. Because also it's royalty free. I guess I'm playing popular. That's fine. We like that. Can y'all hear that? Probably barely. How's that? How's the audio? How's the audio volume for the music? You haven't complained yet? Cool. Oh, could be louder. Oh wait, no, I do. Cool. I don't want it to be too loud. I just want it to be like background. Cool. Let's do it. Let's crank it. Let's crank it marginally. Okay, but this is the actual moment of truth here. Does it actually work? Doink. No, it does not. It doesn't work because of the thing, the no module name source thing. It like added to the path. It's like so old mprib over there did find a solution to that. What was the fix for that? Let me see. I thought I had done the thing that I thought I had implemented your fix mprib. Yeah. I thought I did that already. But it's not. It's not. What's going on? Let's check. Did I put it in there? Main. Did I put it in there? I did put it in there. It's still not working. Blech. Okay. It goes right before. Oh, you're right. And aha, haha. You see what happened? The thing is that it's still not a perfect solution. It's not a terrible solution, but it's not. Yeah. The problem is I imported. I used an auto import thing, and it put it above because, like, strictly speaking, this is now, first of all, like the parent feels like feels like the wrong way to do that, but if it works, it works, and I don't know a better way. This is also currently like not aligned with like the PEP 8 code standards because it is like executed code in the middle of a bunch of import statements. Exactly, it feels like kludgy. But if it works, it works, and I think that you were this is now like a higher likelihood of working. Am I allowed to do that? Move the hacky mpribs. Hacky thirst fix above first reference, but first import from source. Oh, shut up. Pro tip, make it less than 50. No. It may not let me do this. Oh, it did let me do it. Why did you let me do that? You shouldn't let me do that. I thought it would block me. Maybe Yes, this music is in fact the language that computers speak. It's basically 80s references and synth music. Okay. Okay, now I need to... I also need to make that change here. I don't want to re-download it. I don't want to redo all that. So I'm just going to do this. We're doing slaps. Where are you? No. Don't do that. Okay. Don't do that. Open with anything else. Let's do code. Sure. My good friend code. It's been a while. Go away. Shut up. Save. And again. Oh yeah, see, look, it even complained. That was the line it complained about, was that CSS style sheet. Try again. Huh? Huh? Hey, look at that. Yeah, okay. So I started messing around with like the style sheet. Hello, Philip Ekstrom. Huzzah! I started playing around with the style sheet. If anyone feels like, it's obviously like not great because I didn't like specify everything, but it's a start. If anyone feels like messing with the style stuff, the way to do that is to go in the source folder, in the GUI folder, in the main folder, in the style stuff, CSS style sheet, and then this is how style stuff works. Oh, hey, Socrae. How's the progress? Progress is that we got this GUI thing running here. Look at that. Whee! Now the question is, does it connect to the cameras? Because it is semi-normal. Thank you. It is semi-normal CSS. It is it's Qt. This is running by Qt. So like, you yeah, like each of the little elements, like the main window, the push buttons have elements. I'm specifying the background color. I don't really know much about this. This is more like a proof of concept. But it's, yeah, it's CSS-like. I don't know. I don't know enough about CSS to know more. But it's like, okay, let's see if it actually works. Look, it's got, it hovers. Control N. Aha. Will you see a camera? Huh? You can do it. Hey, what's up? It's me. I'm gonna turn off this camera on Streamlabs so I can use it here. Oh, a lot of words. Oh, look at that. Brother Paul is pasting helpful information into that. We are grateful. Camera. Turn off camera. Farewell camera. Detect cameras? Is that gonna work? This is also where it gets a little crashy. It also it gives you very little feedback in the GUI, almost none, in fact. Yeah. So if you're running this and you want to see what's going on, you have to be looking at the terminal while you're doing it. Shadow. So I do actually have aspirations of making like the stylization of the GUI like very accessible. Okay, no, you're still actually on here. Yeah, you're still running. How do I make you not run? Deactivate. Bye. Yeah, no, yeah, we're getting somewhere. Detect cameras. Okay, that one. Huh? How we doing? Oh. Okay, something's fucky, which is not surprising, so I push Control R and it resets. How nice. Now I hit Control N and it does that and it tries to detect the cameras and it sees two of them. Am I two people? I am two people. And it does that thing where it slowly grows because I don't know how to do image scaling in Qt. So I found a solution that works, but like it does that thing. And you can pop them out because if you have a lot of cameras, it starts to get really squished. And so you can pop them out and then it does that. And then it does this really funny thing where like it just slowly grows until it is, I think it's like, it's like bigger than, because I don't know if this is 720p because these are trying to run 720p. And then, hello, that's me again. And then you can, there is an export to Blender option. There is not a Blender add-on per se. Qt is free if you are using, it's free for open source code. Like if you're not, it's like, because this is an open source project, Qt is free. If it wanted to be a closed source project, you'd have to pay for it. But then you can just use like PySide or something like that. Qt is actually using GPL, which is but yeah, it's free for us. Okay, so I close you and I close you and it's fine. And I say dock cameras. Oh, it might, I don't know how it might not like this. What's gonna happen? It might be in a fail state. So we reset. Control R. Haha. Control N. And detect the cameras. And look at that. And I can set all these things. So like this camera is a little too bright. Let's make it dark. It's not too bright. It's just, oh, there's a little bit of, the frame rate's still a little, Philip, you may ask your question. I may or may not answer it because I'm like running out of steam here. So I want to just, didn't properly fit the, I didn't even try to fit the cameras in rectangle. So like, this it's like a pix map, and then this is the label, and so it's keeping its aspect ratio. So the black square shows you like all the available space, and then the image is like a different thing inside of that container, and it grows. There's a lot of the GUI. This is not its final form, because if you look through the code, and I'm going to do some like live coding stuff in the future, and to help people sort of like integrate into like the actual layout of the code. Philip is asking a good question. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so the code has a lot of yes. I've gotten used to it, Mycon. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's like it's better to because like people like this and they want to use it, and it's not kind of me to be like, oh wait, let me wait till it's finished, because like guess what, it ain't ever gonna be finished. So like here's the thing, it's like I was like, yeah, anyways, so yeah, for sure, it is a bug. Arguably it's like it's closer to tech debt. Oh cool, nice, Philip, I'm glad you're in the Discord. But basically, the GUI as it exists now has a lot of there's a lot of tech debt in it. Endurance helped me set it up to have like a pretty solid core architecture, but I was still learning as I was writing it. So it's either going to need to refactor early, or it might be able to limp along until it's ready for a refactor later, because it is functional-ish, close to functional, more or less functional. yeah. So it'll do its job. Yeah, it's kind of, see, like I think there's still something with the frame rate that's not what it should be. Like there's a little bit of jelliness into my hand, which is like a rolling shutter thing. And I don't properly have. Yeah, it's like, anyways, it's like I was talking. This is a conversation I have with Trent a lot about like asking people for feedback, and it's like I mean. Like if you're building a house and you haven't put the roof on it yet, and you show it to people and you're like, what do you think? Everyone's just gonna say you should put a roof on it. And it's like, yeah, thank you, I know that. But yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I am hyped for your hype. Let's do this whole thing. I'm gonna make this one darker, and I'm gonna rotate it by 90 degrees, and I'm gonna rotate this one, and I'm gonna apply settings and launch cameras. Does it work? It kind of works. Hello. The orientation thing is really helpful. Yes. Being able to orient the cameras in portrait mode is super helpful, because you can because humans are portrait mode. Like that is us. We are portrait mode. So if you can rotate your cameras by 90 degrees and cover like a standing person with much less space than if it's in landscape mode. Also, when the person is in, like if they're oriented like this, then you're using more of the pixels of your camera, which is better for tracking. So, and I think if I do this, I think it's smart. Yeah, this was a recent thing. Oh, crash. Good. It's okay, friend. It's okay. You did your best. Why did you crash? You crashed because you crashed. It's okay. The humans Cape Salmon. Yes. That follows you around. We'll be there. We'll get there soon. Don't mind me just over here vibing. Let's do a session. I'm not gonna write a gripe sheet because I'm tired, but I am gonna do a session because I can. And y'all are here, and you stuck with me this long. Ooh. That was weird. I'm touching one of the cables and they're not shielded. Give it some light. Blah 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 blah. Huh? Not you. Aha. Okay. So quick run through. Yeah. Yeah. Things take time. But also, it's like, I don't know, like, once again, this book that I love so well is called Working in Public, about, like, how weird it is to work in public. It's a whole vibe, and it was surprising to me because, like, I'm a trained professional research scientist, and so there's this, and the way that science works is like you work in private, and a lot of the world is like that. You work until you're done, and then you have a big unveiling. But I'm just starting to think that that's like, there's good things about it, but like, it's not collaborative, and like I think we need to be like collaboration is important, and so we get over ourselves. We try to. Okay, so basic workflow. Same kind of still, the things. Notice that the things on the side are numbered. You can get to them by Control 1, 2, 3, 4. All this stuff. I should reactivate these. I'll do that later. Control 2 is calibrate capture volume, and there's this button for use previous calibration. Wait, the audiobook is free? Why did I pay for it? It's fine. They got me. Audible. Bondrooks. Well, okay, yeah. It's free. Yeah, first taste is free. I honestly was like, yeah, it's yeah. I guess I'm not using my screen. I can make this thing bigger. Hello. You can select the Charuko board, but it doesn't. There's a little something. It doesn't quite work. It's fine. So the use previous calibration button will just use the previous calibration. Shockingly, I will add. I want to do this. I want to split up the process of calibration and motion capture entirely. A lot of the previous workflow of like calibrating from the same videos as you're doing the movement in, which actually we started this stream by somebody asking about how to not do that. That was just to make it easier to develop, because it's like when it wasn't working at all, it's like, okay, like I didn't want to deal with like multiple cameras and multiple blah blah blah. So it was just like start the recording, do the thing, do anything, push the button, does it work? Audiobooks are free from local libraries, but they have like it's like there's like a limited number, which I hate. Because it's like, oh, you can't have somebody already checked out that ebook, and it's like that's not how ebooks work. It's like artificial scarcity. It throws me into a fit of open source rage. Rawr. Knowledge wants to be free, we say. Okay. Truco square size. Wait, we're using this one, so it's actually 39. This is the part where you put the number, the size of the square. This is checked, so it's going to be processed automatically. Begin recording. So now it's just recording. It doesn't give you any feedback whatsoever in the GUI that is recording. And then in the terminal, it just says saving frame every time it saves a frame. But we're okay with that. And then you click stop recording, doink, and it makes this folder over here. This is just a window into the session folder. And it saves out your timestamps and your videos. And you can double click them and they'll open. There you go. That looks okay. And then, oh yeah, now it's doing it's processing in the background. Again, no feedback whatsoever in the GUI, but you can watch the terminal and it will tell you that. Also, this is a placeholder of, yeah. So this here is like a functioning Python GUI or Python console. So you could actually use it to like, you could plot stuff and things like that. This is sort of part of the sort of for the people like the 0 XP people that we talked about earlier, the idea is that this little bottom right thing, over time, they don't have to look at it at all. Not a part of the process, but it's there, and it's happy, it's friendly, and maybe someday they'll start typing in it, and then that will be their inroad towards deeper levels of techno know-how. Or they could ignore it forever, and it would be totally fine. Yeah. It is complicated. I understand. People need money, blah, 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 but I don't know. I just also, like, the world would be a better place if all information was free. And the only reason why people have to sell stuff is because our society is structured that you have to, like, yeah, because the society is structured on the premise of we don't care if you die. And so everyone has to secure enough resources to not die. And so as a result, we're forced to extract resources from the people around us instead of working collaboratively in the service of a greater good. The only reason why I have the resources to work on something like this as much as I do is because I'm being paid by university that is sucking debt out of the undergraduates that are my responsibility to educate. And the only reason why that, I have grants that are coming, so no such thing as moral purity, and it's a bad goal. Anyway, okay, so the calibration was successful, and it made this calibration data guy, which I can open. That's the camera information. Camera 0's location is 000, and camera 2's location is that, which is theoretically related. Oh, it's, I don't know, how far are you? What? You are 64 centimeters straight away. Oh, I can do this. Watch this. Haha. NP. Do I have that? I do. Okay. N equals NP dot norm. Can I do this right? C equals that. Right? See that? What's the norm? How do you get the norm of something? We'll do it old school. L equals NP dot square root of C dot 0 dot 2. Go away. Thank you. This is not this is my old buddy PyFag. Huh. Thank you. Square root takes 1 to 2. Oh. Oh, right. Plus. The plus. L. Alright, well that's actually the wrong number, so I don't know if this might not work. This is saying... Did I scale something wrong? I don't know. Anyways, this is saying that the cameras are 1.39 or 1.3 meters apart, which is not true. So I don't know what's going on there. Moving on. Now let's record. So we have calibrated it and it produced a result. So now we will record motion capture data. Hello. I am looking. I have hands. I have a face. I'm holding up 2. Another 2. Thumbs up. And stop. And the process recording automatically button is checked, so it's going to start chugging through things, in theory. Oh, cool. Shadow. Congratulations on getting that book. It's a cool book. It's really... It probably would hit different if I hadn't been like wading in its exact subject matter for the past couple of years and feeling like, I've been, because I came into the open source thing, during the pandemic, and it's been a weird, strange world. So it's just very, also, yeah. So this is the media pipe stuff. It's old school progress bar. Print frame number every 5 frames in a for loop. We'll get there. Oh, is this accurate? Is this gonna work? It might fail. Oh, also, why is the visualization? Oh. Okay. Well. So it saves out the annotated video. In theory. Hello, that's me. I am MediaPipe. It often doesn't do super well when it's this close. Also noticing it can't see my legs, and there's less data cleaning here than there is in the pre-alpha. In the pre-alpha did very little data cleaning. So when it produces the results, there's gonna be legs and they're gonna be wackadoo because it's just gonna be guessing. Meow meow. Where you going? Oh cool. So we are triangulating the data. So we've gotten the 2 videos. There you go. It's got the output data, got the 2D data and NumPy array. I have not yet integrated the thing that like chops up the data into like individual NumPy arrays and CSV files for like the hands, body, and face. Code exists, it just needs to be integrated here. This is still moving. Okay, there we go. So it's, oh, interesting. This number here, IT over S is items per second. Yeah, so it should be in the thousands, like in, you know, the high thousands, like close to tens of thousands. No. I have not seen that. I'll bet it's cool. Oh yeah, I have seen this actually. And it is super cool. I don't know if the code is free. There's so much cool stuff happening, and often the code either isn't available. Oh, and I can't see me because the code either isn't available. It's not free and open source. It's like free for academic and non-commercial use. Or it is available, but it's like weird to set up. Oh, cool. The GUI freezes when it's sending it to the. So there's a lot of that's a cool one. I definitely want to use this one, integrate it in the future, just as like an option. Here's another one, VIT pose. This is like the latest and greatest in the field of person tracking. It is the state-of-the-art tag. It's using transformers instead of convolutional neural networks, which, like, I don't really know what a transformer is, but I know that that's the new hotness. That's like what's behind like your dollies and all that nonsense of wild stuff that's happening now. And here is me in Blender. We also now have kind of code. Aaron has done a good job of making code to like automatically orient stuff, because right now grab Z, and then, you know, again, obviously a lot of cleaning to be done, but hey, there I am. Oh yeah, it loses track of my hands because of for a variety of reasons, but yeah, not an ideal recording, but not a bad result. Pretty okay. Yeah. And then I even have this button doesn't work, but you can click on this and say load data session, and now here I am. This is an OpenGL thing. The images don't scale, and they're inverted colors, so I didn't do a thing. But Yeah. USD. Shadow likes USD. Oh, it doesn't loop. That's funny. And you can't stop this. There's no way to stop it. So I'm gonna hit restart, and then I'm gonna click on load most recent session, and now here's all the data. There it is. And I'm actually gonna open this, and this is the session folder. Look at all my session folders. That's not even all of them. And here's all your stuff. It processes all the images separately. All images separately, no knowledge of the previous positions. There's a little bit of a temporal component. MediaPipe does use the previous frames to estimate the next frame. Oh, I don't have a video. I'll turn my video back on. Oh, I deleted. No, is it there? Oh, enable. Activate. I'm back. Hello. I'm back. Yeah, there's a setting for there's a setting in MediaPipe for how much to weight the previous estimate when guessing the new one. I need to expose a lot of that stuff here. Right now I just have this cutoff confidence value thing, but yeah, we'll get there. On the topic of USDs, there's a whole lot of yeah, basically, like, there's a million formats and everyone has their preference. So mostly what we're focusing on now is raw data, which the raw trajectories, I guess, which are those datos are the raw trajectories, and then the armature you're seeing here. That's like, you know, my sloppy attempt to export into a blend file. I have hopefully some people who are gonna, like an animation student, gonna like work on making the output cleaner. But also, isn't USD Pixar? I think USD is Pixar. Basically, the plan is, you know, because with projects like this, there's a term called like complexity creep, or like scope creep, where if you start trying to do too much, you'll just do a worse job. So our focus is on like turning images into skeletons, and so the hope is to basically, so like something like Blender, if we can put the data into Blender in the right way, then we can just use Blender to convert it to other formats, because Blender has this export stuff for like OBJ, Collada, USD is right here, FBX, GLTF, all these guys, and so we're mostly gonna, and then on the, you know, scientific side, people want like C3Ds and yada yada. But yeah, and so right now, if you tried to export this as one of those files, it would break in a variety of ways. But that's the plan. It's like, you know, we want to just make sure that we want to make the best quality data that we can, and then export it to as many formats as we can, by hijacking other people's stuff. So that way, it can be compatible with other things. But yeah, so that's the guy. That's the thing. It works pretty okay. Show free mocap thing. The session folder. Ha! Look at all that. And it's working okay. Getting better every day. Multiple base skeletons, weird skeletons, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of issues with the skeleton. And yeah, multiple, so like from a computational point of view, our focus has been, because like the technology moves so fast, and you know, MediaPipe is kind of cutting edge now, but like who knows about the future, right? This VIT pose might be better in the future. And then there's like your deep lab cuts and your whatnots, and you know, so most of our focus has been on first of all, just making a workflow and a sort of user interface that handles, if you're using attached cameras, synchronization. If you're not, you're on your own for that. And then calibration, and then just like pointing the data at itself. So the focus, so under the hood, what's happening is there's a point where it's like, okay, I've got, can I do this? Oop, file. Nope. Refresh, thank you. That one? Yeah. So at a certain point in the process, there's just this folder called synchronized videos, and these videos are synchronized, so they have exactly the same number of frames. And from that point, Hi, Paul. From that point on, it's just images and that are synchronized and calibrated, you know, and then blah blah blah. So the idea is that although we have been using MediaPipe, there's nothing special about MediaPipe. It's just any system that has the format of I take in images or videos and return pixel estimates will work just as well in this pipeline as MediaPipe does. So looking at so this is VIT pose. It is a wildly different method for getting a skeleton track, but under the hood, it's taking in images and spitting out pixel coordinates. So we can just slot that in. The definition of the skeleton might be a little bit different. Like the dots might have different names and stuff like that, but then you just build converters and wrappers to sort of like, you know, like a shoulder. Oh, you called it left underscore shoulder, whereas they called it L underscore shoulder. We can fix that. And then, you know, also supporting things like the lab cut, which is just sort of like a build your own tracking algorithm, tracking model that's used for a lot of animal research. And so like you can slot that in too, and then build in your own sort of skeleton on top of that. So because a lot of these things are using the same sort of COCO format, so they don't have any dots in the spine, no tracking in the spine, no tracking like between the segments, so you can't get roll. But you could use a deep lab cut to build your own model and get, you know, track where, so whatever text you want there. And actually this guy, move up, blink. I'm tracking like the wobble board and the juggling balls here. Those are tracked with deep lab cut. It was kind of like a janky workaround, but we're planning to build that in more closely to give people more control over what they are. Like you can basically build your own model. And so we can keep focusing on our core pipeline and sort of try to just oh, not that one. Turn off. Nope, cancel. Shoot. Where am I? Hello, I'm back. Where did the video go? What's your name, video friend? Oh, there you are. Bye. Yeah. That's called future proofing. Because I have, you know, you don't want to make it that you don't want to, given how fast technology moves, you don't want to build a tool that's too reliant on any particular instantiation of any particular instance of that technology. So we're focusing on like core level stuff, synchronization, calibration, workflow, user interface, and then the actual technology can slot in and out as long as it's using cameras, which for the time being, you know, cameras aren't going anywhere. So no bone export, simple to raw data format, you can convert to skeleton. Basically. And that's, you know, that's kind of like the limitation in the scope is kind of, it's a protective thing, right? Like, because we have such limited effort and the project is so young, you want to keep the scope as, you know, narrow, so that you can make sure you keep going forward and you don't sort of like dissolve into a million different directions. But yeah, okay, that's that is more than I intended to do today. I was playing, but I'm happy we got through it. That was fun. I think Paul left, but Neon X left is Paul, my brother. He left, but he will be. He is a very talented musician, and it's great to have him as a brother. I am the science brother. He is the art brother. Oh, I don't know any that do the same as my project. There's a lot that are sort of like, there's a lot of things that are close. I mean, honestly, if, you know, rigid body assumptions, right? The more this is you. I actually do think that like attaching fiducials to your body, like to do tracking, could work. But Ghetto Jesus is your name. There's a lot of like spiritually related projects that are not exactly what I'm doing. My general rule is if I find a project that is aligned with what I'm doing, or similar to what I'm doing. Multi-camera syncing. I don't know of anyone that does it. I found a project that not as easy. If there was a better version than mine, I would use it. Basically. Yeah, like, so my general rule, my basic rule is if I find a project that is doing something close to what I'm doing, if it's free and open source, I join forces. If it's closed source, I ignore it. And that's a pretty good strategy. You collaborate with people who can share your ideals. That's, again, AnyPose is actually like that. AnyPose is the thing that does our camera calibration. It doesn't do the syncing; it does the calibration. And I was writing this code to do this task, and then this paper came out, and I was like, great, I don't need to do that. And so I've been using, so this is Lambda Loop. His name is Pierre something, Pierre Karashkuk, I think. And he made this code, and it works quite well. And we are starting to outgrow it. Not because it doesn't work computationally well, but because it's like, it was written. This is classic academic code, right? It was written. What is it? AnyPose lib. It was written by a grad student as part of a dissertation, and it's not being updated. And it is written pretty clean, and it does work, but like, this is everything's in here, and like things aren't exposed that you like to be exposed, and yada yada. So I talked to Pierre, and he said it's cool for me to just basically start. Oh yeah, look, that's me. I'm starting to like pull it apart, pull this code apart to sort of expose more things, and eventually there's going to be, because he's not updating it, he's not maintaining this anymore. Like last update 10 months ago. So we are kind of, not absorbing it, but we're building off of it. And this was someone that solved the calibration problem for us, and does it in a really cool and effective way. But I don't know of anyone else. Like the multi-camera syncing was one of those things that like I would have expected for there to be a lot of options out there, and I didn't find them. If I had, I would have used them. I guess actually, now that I think about it, Pupil Labs, GitHub Pupil. My method is AnyPose. It is OpenCV under the hood. He's just using OpenCV. He's using. You'll see a lot of people who are using like the raw checkerboard, which has problems with multiple cameras because it's ambiguous. It's upside down. So having the Aruco markers, which makes in the white spaces, makes it so it's not it's oriented, yada yada. It's not ambiguous. There's no ambiguous stuff here. The AnyPose method has it does like a spark. It's a nice implementation of like a classic method of 3D calibration and then sparse bundle adjustment. Uh, and then he does like this interesting thing of like he optimizes it, and then he takes only like the best, like you start with like a bunch of views, and then you optimize it, and then you take the good ones and you throw away the bad ones and you optimize it again, and then you sort of run that process iteratively, kind of recursively, and it gets a really nice nailed down calibration over time. Hey, what's up, Ghetto Jesus? Ghetto Jesus. If you go to the Discord server, our old friend Mprib actually just did a nice write-up. Actually, here's what I can do. I think I can do... Oh, people are talking. Oh, yeah. Oh, also, yeah. Aaron also managed to connect it to OpenSim, which is great. Let's see. Where's the thing you just wrote? OpenCV. I'm going to link this here. Copy message link. Yeah, our good friend Mprib here. If you click on that, it will take you to a thread of his recent write-up of like his explorations of like multi-camera calibration and how that kind of works under the hood. But I'm glad you found my thing and consider it to be a golden mine. But yeah, my camera synchronization method is kind of spiritually related to how the Pupil Labs people do it, where you basically every time you pull a frame, you pull a timestamp, which has worked reasonably well. That is also going to get an overhaul soon-ish. But anyways, interesting. I just saw your post about the VS Code thing. There's blah. Okay, my brain is melted. Oh, how big are the session folders typically? It depends on how long the recording is and how many cameras you have, but they're typically not gigantic. I haven't done a lot of big recordings, but like they're relatively low. I mean, the videos are relatively small, right? Because they're the default setting is 1280 by 720, which, you know, so like the videos I just recorded are like 30 megabytes and 20 megabytes. Yeah, so those are probably like high resolution, high frame rate, which you actually get less advantage of that than you would expect. But like when we do like GoPro recordings, those get really huge. But yeah, it depends a lot on the specifics of how you're doing your recording, but typically not gigantic. Less than a gig ish. Again, but yeah, if you're using like 20 cameras and you record for half an hour, first of all, awesome. Good luck. Secondly, that's obviously going to be much larger than if you have 2 cameras you record for 10 seconds. It's the videos. The videos are the things that make it big. Oh, another thing I wanted to show before I sign off. This here doesn't do anything. But when it does, this import external videos is something that I think a lot of people are going to get an advantage of, because it will open up a window like this, and you'll be able to select a folder full of videos. First pass will be, you will have to have synchronized the videos yourself, and then you'll click it and it will just create a session folder from those videos. And then once that's working, we'll add another thing to if you're like, so if, for example, if they're GoPros and they all have an audio stream, it will try to synchronize them with the audio stream using cross correlation method type of thing. Oh yeah, LiDAR. Yeah, that's a whole other vibe. Another big part of this project is we use generic cameras. Just your garbage old USB webcams. You could get a lot of mileage by using stereo cameras or LiDAR or anything like that. Problem with that is you are then, if you use specialized hardware, you are beholden to whoever's making that hardware. And you could be using a Kinect and be doing a great job and building a whole life around it, and then Microsoft deprecates it, and now you can't buy Kinects anymore. You could be using an Intel RealSense camera and having a great time with it, and then Intel RealSense will announce end of life for the RealSense camera, and it's not going to be supported in the future. You could be using the Intel LiDAR, which is great. They made one version and then said we're not going to make this anymore. And so all of those things are like, you know, companies making business decisions that affect your ability to use whatever method you're trying to use. So that is why we are using the world's worst cameras, these beautiful garbage little cheapo cameras that do nothing but turn light into a square of voltages 30 times per second, and that's and you can work on that. And now, again, in the spirit of the future, you could use LiDAR here, you could use stereo camera here. It would work with the same calibration method. It would just, but that's not the main path. That's a side path. So yes, it is. Yeah. Ghetto Jesus, when is the next stream? The next stream is at a random arbitrary interval, likely occurring in the afternoon on Thursday, sometime Thursday or Friday afternoon, East Coast America time. There will be a Twitter post and a ping to the Discord server, but I have too much going on to have a hard point in my schedule around Twitch streams, as much as I enjoy them. But I'll probably Thursday or Friday afternoon is when I'll do it. But again, no promises. Okay. This has been fun and productive. Thank you for body doubling while I updated that RunMe. I was really putting it off. And awesome that it's running. That's so cool. That's very exciting. I should plop this in. I'll do it later. Da-da-da-da. No, I'll do it now. Because it has made me sad that there's no auto-playing video on the top of that. Da-da-da, 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 Free Mocap Project. Ba-ba, that's the song I wrote about this project. Social media and shared videos and stuff. Free Mocap Clips, is that the one I want? 2021. What am I looking for? Is this the one I want? 2021? 2022? How long are you? 6 minutes and 43 seconds. That's too long. Low bit rate. Short. That's the one I want. Aha! Bye, Imprib. Thank you. Now watch this. I'm gonna now watch as I improve this code. Ha. Oh, where'd you go? Uh-oh. I've lost it. Where'd the video go? Did it go anywhere? Did it not work? Oh, baby, we got this. We got a mascot. We got a mascot. Don't you know about Skelly? Look at him. He's beautiful. Skelly is the mascot and the spiritual center of this project. That's the mascot. He's my favorite. Skelly, pronouns, he, they. Short and compressed. That's probably the one that I want. There we go. That is 100% true. Oh my god, I want a Skelly rig so bad. This is so this one. This is up. That to look at. Let me turn off the. So this is. I used to just leave it statically. Oh no, that's not the one I want. That's the. This is the one I want.
Ayu.
So that's my first attempt at Skelly. That's my brother Paul. That's Neon X Death playing like an Arabic beat. This is like my favorite video I've made with female cap. It didn't get a ton of traction, um, like online, but it was fun. But this is, yeah, that was my first attempt at making a Skelly rig. Gemerald skeleton with the sparkle eye. Because the goal was like, it wants to be, so it's motion capture, so it's very skeleton based. Ooh. It's motion capture, but I want it to be a skull, but I want it to be a friendly skull. Mprib, if you could, I would love that if you want to make a model. I, I, I guess yeah, of the head. Yeah, because this is just a borked apart Suzanne skull. Yeah, I mean, if you make a model that I can just like plop on top of the skeleton, that would be great. That would be amazing. Follow your heart there. Don't. It's yeah. I don't know. I always like. I guess like people offer help, you should just say thank you. Okay. Add video. Commit to directly. There we go. Autoplay. Does it autoplay? It should autoplay. GitHub ReadMe video autoplay. Oh man, Z anatomy. No, so uh so just the head, just the head. Just the skull. The little, because the data is still stick figure. And so to actually do a full skeleton is sort of would be very hard and also would be harder to drive. And also not really uh, necessary, right? So it's kind of, I think the thing I want now, like on the short, like the thing I want is like, so this data here is just connect the dots of the skeleton, and then this is just a standard blender monkey head that I just like attach to the top of the stick figure. um so and whereas this one is like the same head, it's just like a rigid body that's attached. uh, so really it's like, something kind of, I don't know, like, yeah, the Skelly skull is like a 3D version of Skelly. Uh, yeah, like a low poly Skelly head is basically just like, oh, do I even have this? I need to go. uh, just like a version, like something that's sort of like along the same artistic trajectory of like really simple, sort of Skelly looking low poly skull that is, you know, that would be the dream. But again, don't like put yourself too far out, because I'm sure you're a busy guy. Oh my god. Okay, I've been on 3 hours. Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna go away. I'm gonna go away and look at a tree. Twitter. That's not what I'm gonna look at. Twitch. Twitch. Who will I send you to? Milk monsters. I need to look at people like that. Elmarov? Who is this? Oh, bikini drama. Yeah, I don't know. That's fine. You'll be all right, because they won't even notice you in there. God bless her. I hope she's making a good living. Ghetto Jesus, you are more than welcome to ask a question on Discord. I will not answer it in the short term, but I may either somebody else will or I will later. Awesome. Thank you, Timmer. I'll throw you at this friend.
What's up, y'all?
Ads. Don't look. Don't look. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it would be cool to give him an update. I don't know. I'm tired. My brain is melted. If you work on the so Cray, this is the last thing I'm going to say, I promise, before I actually leave and go be tired somewhere. But I do want to say this out loud on this in the channel. If you or anybody else goes to source, export stuff, Blender stuff, alpha free mocap Blender mega script, that is the nonsense code that I put together to do the Blender output. It's a brute force mega script 1600 line piece of nonsense. You can run this in Blender's scripting, like open up Blender, open up the scripting tab, open this file, change the path here to the path to your session folder, and it will load it into Blender. If you can think about better ways to do that, that would be good. But again, don't kill yourself on it, because because I'm also working on it. Other people are also working on it, because organization, and the last thing you want is someone like, hey, I put all this work and I made this thing, and it's just like, oh, someone else is already working on that. That actually happened a while ago. Someone's like, I made this add-on, and but by the time they got it to us, it was already obsolete for the state of the project, and breaks my heart. Who was that? That was Kendrick. Was it Kendrick? Someone. I don't know. We don't raid /raid EJ_sa. That was you, Socray. Oh my God, Kendrick. Yes, yeah. Sorry about that. Jesus Christ. It was oh my God. It was one of those things. It was you're I want to help, and I was I want you to help, but then it just wasn't organized enough to accept the help, and it wound up it was fine. I hope you were not too perturbed by that. I really did appreciate it, and it just wasn't in the. It's hard. It's really hard to yeah, the world's complicated. Yeah, exactly. That's I got that vibe too, and that is, I'm glad to hear that. The Blender API is complicated. Oh, nice. Oh, is it CG Tinker's Blend R cap? Is that the one? Because I actually if you check out CG Tinker Blend R, because this is something I played around with this a little bit and I kind of lost the thread, but this is another nice-ish, it's got a lot going for it, a Blender thing that does stuff, and there is a branch called free mocap that has options to load free mocap data, which may also be good. Oh, am I? I think I just left. Okay, bye. Okay.
Using Adobe Illustrator. I'll use the gradient tool to create the frame.